was turned white as snow with leprosy. Why did the Most High turn her white as snow? Verse 9 said, because the anger of Yah was kindled against them and he departed. Yah was mad because they were speaking against Moses, his great prophet. And Miriam probably was the one that was outspoken the most. And so Yah struck her. Yah was angry with her. He could have taken her heart right out of her chest right there. But no, he didn't do that, because she was still one of his prophetess, but he had to punish her for what she was doing. So he turned her white as snow. White as snow. Once again, remember, he was angry at her and he showed her his anger. Once again, if Miriam looked like these white Jewish girls on the screen right here, what would have been the power behind Yah showing his anger to her? How much more white can these women get right here if Miriam was their skin color? Why not turn them jet black like these women on the screen right here? Why not turn her jet black? But he didn't. He turned her white as snow. And let me tell you why. Let me explain to you. Melanin. Melanin is a substance that's in our body that produces a chemical that turns our skin brown to black. And by doing this, melanin helps to protect our skin from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. You know, the ultraviolet rays are the rays that beam down is giving all these white folks skin cancer. White people get skin cancer more than any other people on the planet because, like I was telling you, their skin has the least amount of melanin in it. Melanin protects our skin from the sun. So when the Most High removed every ounce of melanin from Sister Miriam's body and turned that sister white, the Most High was putting a punishment on her, because remember, they're in the desert. They're wandering in the desert. The children of Israel, after they came out of Egypt, they wandered the desert for 40 years. So you're going to tell me that this was a group of white people that ran around in that hot sun for 40 years? If that was so, they would have been died out of skin cancer long ago. But people with melanin within their skin to turn their skin from brown to black, and being protected from the harmful rays of the sun. So when Yah removed the melanin from Miriam's body, that sister was out in that desert and she got sunburned and everything. So he said that she had to stay like that for 7 days, and you better believe that sister suffered for that 7 days, being out in the desert like that without any melanin in her body to protect her skin from the sun. So that's why the Most High did that. He turned her white. But he struck her with leprosy and she was white as snow. White as snow. She was a Hebrew Israelite because she is Moses' sister. Look at this. This is Miriam from the New Ten Commandments. Miriam from the New Ten Commandments. Once again, if Miriam was that color right there, what would have been the Most High showing his anger? It's just like when you punishing your children, brothers and sisters, and they do something wrong and you want them to know that you are upset at them for doing that wrong. And when you punish them, you want to make sure that they understand that they are being punished. So that's what the Most High, when Miriam spoke out, because remember, he looks at us like a father and we are his children. So when the Most High looked at Miriam for talking against Moses, and Moses is Yah's right-hand man at that time, you know, that's his right-hand servant leading Yah's chosen people, you know, and leading and guiding them. So when they spoke out against Moses, Most High was mad at that. So he had to punish his children for that. So he punished her with a punishment that she knew she was being punished. And when Miriam seen that, it was, behold, she was white. So Miriam, when that cloud departed off the tabernacle and Yah turned her white, and her brother Aaron seen that, you know, his eyes must have bucked out of his head. You know? Because here she is standing before him, a black woman, black-skinned, and in an instant, she's white. She's white. And Miriam looked and said, Aaron, Aharon, that's how you say it in Hebrew. Aharon looked upon Miriam and, behold, she was white. And if you read in the next scripture after that, you know, Aaron repented instantly. Oh, we have sinned. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, we have sinned. We're sorry, you know, because he's seen that. So what I'm saying, if Miriam looked like this woman that's on your screen right now, What would have been the power of the Most High showing his anger or showing Miriam that she's punished if she was turned white? How much whiter can you get? I'm going to keep asking that because that's a critical question, and it brings everything into perspective. So wouldn't it made sense, once again, wouldn't it make sense to turn her this color right there? You see that sister in the hand? That sister right there with a book of Bibles in her hand? She's from the Sudan. These are Israelites you see on the screen from the Sudan. But look how dark they are. Beautiful. They have a lot of melanin in their skin, and it protects them from the sun, because I told you that they live in the Sudan. The Sudan is like in the region of Egypt, and it's south, and it's real close to the equator, and the sun is hot in that region, so they have that dark skin so they can be protected from the sun. But once again, if the Most High was showing his anger at Miriam, why not turn her the same shade as these people if Miriam was already a white woman? But she wasn't, as Scripture is showing us. She was not already white, as the Scripture showed us about Moses. So we see that when the Most High was upset with our people, he, at times he struck them with leprosy. But leprosy, as I told you, was a disease that turned the black skin white. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 13, and we're going to read about that quickly. We're going to read about what leprosy was and how it pertained to the children of Israel. In Leviticus chapter 13, it tells us about this leprosy. Leviticus chapter 13:2, it states, "When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of the sons of the priest." So the Most High is saying that when a bright spot, notice he said a bright spot appear in the skin, that this may be the sign of leprosy. And so we have to bring it to the priest so the priest can determine what's going on here. It says, "If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh," if the bright spot, listen, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that had the plague 7 days. Verse 6. "And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean, as but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean." So the Most High is giving us the order of leprosy right here. He said, if it be a bright spot, and then in verse 4, he said, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh. Once again, if you're a white person and you got leprosy, how can you tell if a white spot is in your skin when your skin is already white? When your skin is already bright, your skin is already pale, how can you tell if there's a bright spot? And that spot be white. But yet, in dark skin, when bright spots appear, you can see them immediately. Immediately, we can see that. And then, in verse 6, it says, "The priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark." Oh, so if the plague be somewhat dark, that means that it's healing, and the plague spread not in the skin. So if it's somewhat dark, what does that mean? It means that it's turning back to its original skin tone. If it be somewhat dark. Let's go down to Leviticus 13:12. "And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that had the plague from his head to his foot, whatsoever the priest look, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean, and have the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean." So we see that when a person has full leprosy and all of his skin has turned white, then he is a clean leper. When his skin has turned from black to white, then he is a clean leprosy. Right here, you see on the screen, once again, a picture of those hands that I showed you, and you see a sister right here, and you see her skin is turning from black to white. This sister has a condition called vitiligo. Vitiligo is somewhat similar to biblical leprosy, whereas it turns the dark skin from black to white. So we see in vitiligo, when the spots appear against the black skin, the white spots, you can immediately see those spots within the skin. And as you see, the reason Scripture described the leprosy as white as snow, the skin turning white as snow, if you look at the hands right here on the left side, on this side right here, if you look at this person's hands and you look at their original skin tone, you see the original skin tone? You see what that skin is? You see how black that skin is? And you look at what it has turned. You see how white his hands are turned? His hands compared to his original skin tone is white as snow. It's Snow White. Snow White. Look how clean that is. See, vitiligo is the disease that Michael Jackson has, and it turned his skin from black to white. Now, I used to believe that Michael was doing that to turn himself white, but I actually saw the pictures, and you see right there, they're actually images of pictures of his skin as it was turning. And I do believe that Michael, being a millionaire, that he was able to speed up the process. Because if people would have saw him in public, as his skin was changing, they probably wouldn't not have been a bigger fan of him. But his skin was changing white. And if you see the hands of this person right here, and you look at Michael Jackson's skin tone is very white, like this person's hand is. Because when this vitiligo strikes you, that's what it does. I mean, it takes all of the melanin out of that area which it has stricken. And so, my brothers and sisters that have vitiligo, please hear your brother Obadiah here. I'm not saying that you are cursed with anything. I'm not saying you are cursed with anything. But I'm just making the comparison that vitiligo and leprosy was similar. And I use vitiligo because in our day we can understand it, because they have put deception even on leprosy. That they have changed what leprosy actually is. They have given this name leprosy to another disease. So we just have to be mindful of what's going on. But this vitiligo and leprosy were similar. And so we see that the person's skin turned white. It turned very white. And if you can see the sister's face right here, as her skin, as the dark skin is being removed, that you see how white her skin is. It's very white. So that's what leprosy did. And this was the disease that the Most High put on this nation of Israel, a black nation. So once again, that was a situation where if the person